I think we're live. All right. Hello, everyone. Four Star Sports Media is bringing you another edition of College Pickem this week. Um, Wes could not be here right now. He is caught up with work, but he should join pretty soon. And we've got Zach. He's at the game, at the Arkansas Pine Bluff game. So he's kind of busy there. But me and Brandon and Nathan will give you a good show today. We have got a lot of games to pick and another Saturday of college football. First of all, guys, I'll start with Nathan. What surprised you last week?
Last week would be the Purdue Iowa game. Purdue ran a 3-quarterback switch through the entire game. It was something I'd never seen before, but it was very effective. So Purdue taking down Iowa, that was a big shocker to me. It was something that was very interesting in watching, especially with the 3-quarterback switch. That was something new, and apparently Purdue's going to keep doing that the rest of the season. So that's something big for me.
That was a huge upset. It really was. Iowa, number 2 in the nation, and they fall to Purdue. That's not a good look for them. But and that probably knocked them out of the college football playoff. I mean, even if they won out, maybe, but I don't see them winning out. I think Ohio State's still going to have something to say about that. And Michigan. So yeah, Brandon, what about you, man?
Biggest surprise to me was, I guess it happened behind closed doors, but Coach O getting fired after he beats Florida.
Yeah.
But apparently all the reports have it saying that he was already on the ropes before that, and they were working on an agreement, and it came out after the Florida game. I'm actually going to be at the LSU Ole Miss game today, so
nice.
I'll come to you live from the Grove.
There you go.
One of the worst tailgating experiences in all of college football.
Get your corn dogs ready.
Yeah, get your popcorn ready. We're going to Oxford.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun atmosphere today at Oxford. The Grove is cool. I was there for the Arkansas Ole Miss game. It was a great game. And the fans,
it's a sellout crowd today.
It's
a sellout crowd today.
It definitely wasn't a sellout.
Well, they're playing. It's Eli Manning.
That's going.
So yeah, they got the end zone. They got the end zone painted Manning, which is pretty cool. I have to admit.
Really?
But he's getting inducted into the Ole Miss Hall of Fame today.
Yeah, and I forgot to tell you guys, I had an Ole Miss fan kind of give me heck at that game. He said, go back home. We don't want you here, but it's all good.
I've had a lot worse said to me at an Ole Miss game.
That ain't. Yeah, if that's the worst that I get, that's not bad. My surprise, it's not really a surprise. It's not even an upset, but man, Oklahoma State with the win over Texas. I mean, I knew Oklahoma State was a good team. I thought they were possibly a little bit overrated, but man, to go on the road and beat a Texas team, that's not bad. Had to come back and do it, I think. That's kind of a shock to me. And Oklahoma State, I mean, is Oklahoma State a team that can win the Big 12 and sneak in the playoff? Man, I don't know. They're going to have to get by Oklahoma first.
I think they can give Oklahoma a run for their money. That's for sure. But also an upset that happened actually this week was Coastal Carolina getting beat by Appalachian State. That was pretty. That stopped the undefeated streak and everything. So
that's a big upset. Yeah.
Yeah. The best part about all of that entire game was, the quarterback for App State was a Clemson transfer, and then he went somewhere else and then transferred to App State. Well, one of the captains for Coastal Carolina, their middle linebacker, can't remember his name, was sending DMs to the guy saying something about you might not even win the job, blah, 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 blah. And if you do, you just go in there to get your head drummed by
Yeah.
by a team on the coast, and then App State ended up winning the game. So
Yeah. They rushed the field and everything.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
those are two teams that have kind of formed, like, turned into not powerhouses, but just solid programs. And App State is definitely not the team that beat Michigan. What in 2000? What was that? 2006 or something? A long time ago. That they're a much more respectable program now, and definitely Coastal Carolina is. But yeah, that's a big upset. Jonathan Sturdivant says, "Hey guys, just landed back in the 901. Have a good show. Go Tigers. Thanks, man." And definitely the shock. That was a huge shock when ULM beat Liberty. Man, I was not expecting that at all. That was from Wes Pruitt. All right, guys, we're going to get into these picks here. The first game, Illinois and Penn State. I don't think this will be a close game, but I'll let Nathan start and then Brandon.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Penn State in this. James Franklin. They say he's up for the LSU job. I don't see that. I honestly think it's going to be Mel Tucker taking over at LSU, but he could be going to USC. We don't know. But give me Penn State in this game against Illinois.
Yeah, Brandon.
yeah, give me Penn State in this one. My buddy Matt concurs. We think Penn State's going to beat them. There's not really any great games today.
Not really.
I don't
no.
think Illinois can do anything against Penn State. So give me Penn State in this game.
Yeah. Brett Bielema's going to have his hands full today. He's struggling to say the least at Illinois right now. I saw in a post game interview he basically said, "I don't have the player. You got to have the players to be able to compete," and that's true. But you just kind of don't say that in an interview. You don't throw your players under the bus. Chad Morris did that a lot when he was at Arkansas, and it just never ends well for you. Actually, I think I skipped a couple games, but I got Penn State in that one. The first game I was supposed to start with, I believe. Well, no, that's already happened. Tulane and SMU have already played. Cincinnati and Navy. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, Cincinnati is on a whole different level right now of playing. I honestly do not see nobody even coming close to beating Cincinnati. So I honestly see Cincinnati taking this. I think they got SMU towards the end of the season, and I believe that's the only competition they're going to have. So Cincinnati's got a clear run for the college football playoff, and hopefully they allow Cincinnati to be a part of it because they are a great team and a hell of an offense and a hell of a quarterback. So yeah, I got Cincinnati in this game.
I think Cincinnati, if they are to win out, they deserve to be in the playoff. No doubt about it. Normally I wouldn't say that, but just because what conference they're in, but man, it's the way they're winning, and they proved last year that they can compete with anybody. I mean, they almost beat Georgia. This year they went on the road and beat Notre Dame, so they're a legit team, and they'll beat Navy. They'll beat them by at least 28 points, probably more. Then you got Oklahoma. I know Brandon's going to pick Cincinnati in that game.
Right.
I know Wes would pick them.
I'm sure Zach will probably go to Cincinnati as well.
Let me see what Wes's picks are here. I know he's sent.
I got Wes right here. Wes picked Cincinnati.
Yeah, he picked Cincinnati. And the next game we got Oklahoma and Kansas. Another game that's not even another sleeper game that's not even going to be really worth watching. I mean,
but you know what? Go ahead, Christian.
No, you're good.
I will say this about Oklahoma, and I think you was about to say it too. I think Oklahoma's found the quarterback. In
Yes.
Caleb, he is an outstanding quarterback, and he's a Oklahoma guy. So getting somebody from your home state and taking over Oklahoma Sooners right now. I mean, he can do it all, dude. He is a dual threat quarterback. He is something to, that is going to give defenses hell. So yeah, Oklahoma, they found the quarterback, and I think they're going to do big here in this game against Kansas. I don't think Kansas
I
would
mean,
be.
yeah, Kansas has no chance, but I mean, especially Oklahoma when that quarterback comes in and leads you to at least a 20-point comeback against
Mhm.
your rival. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
he's going to keep that starting job. And
you think of it this
is
way.
Spencer Rattler? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to add into that football game. He comes in and runs a 66-yard touchdown run, and then after that, it's all him the rest of the
Yeah,
game. But
yeah, man.
But the whole Spencer Rattler thing, I mean, that's something to address because we don't know if he's going to
He's gonna.
transfer.
I think he will. I think he'll transfer, but to what team, I don't know. The only team so far I've seen him mentioned to go to, which hasn't been confirmed or anything. It's Mississippi State, so I don't know. Could we see him in the SEC? That would
Well,
be.
yeah. See, that's the thing. I've heard rumors of Ole Miss. I've heard he might go out to California and play out there
Yeah.
for maybe USC or somebody over there. There's just no telling with him. He could come into the SEC program, but Ole Miss, I believe Lane Kiffin will probably go after him. So, but we'll
Now,
see.
what is your opinion on him? I mean, you think he's that bad? I mean,
Well, I think all right. So this NIL deal that these players have got going on, they getting
yeah,
money and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the money and the whole, he got a brand new Charger, brand new truck, and all this kind of stuff. I think
right.
it all got to his head. I think it threw him off of his game, and
Mm-hmm.
you could tell when you watch him
That's a very
play.
good point. It's
I
a very
mean,
good
but you
point.
can tell when you watch him play, he just throws up trash. I mean, he doesn't settle down in the pocket, and when he does, he makes plays. But when he doesn't, when he's being rushed or blitz, that's the thing between him and Caleb. Caleb will make a play out of it and will get yardage, whether he's got to scramble out of the pocket or not.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, he'll throw it, and you don't know if it's going to go or where it's going to go, but he forces his passes a lot, which is not a
Yeah,
good sign for somebody that was supposed
you
to be a
can't do that.
Heisman candidate, right?
Yeah, you can't
So,
do that. All right, we've picked Cincinnati, Navy, Oklahoma, Kansas, Penn State, Illinois. The next game we've got is Wake Forest and Army. Um,
hmm.
man, Wake Forest, are they gonna win the ACC this year?
I think they will. I have Wake Forest as my ACC champs this year because Sam Reinhart, he is an outstanding quarterback over there.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched College Game Day this morning, everybody, you saw they did a little special thing for him and everything about why he wears his number 10 jersey uh, and all this kind of stuff. It's a very touching story. But he's a great quarterback. Wake Forest has come out of the out of nowhere with an
Yes.
undefeated streak. Nobody would have picked Wake Forest at the beginning of the season, I don't think. But Wake Forest has come out and has done an outstanding job. They do have a tough match with Army. I think Army's actually picked in this game to win. I believe
Wow.
it. I think so. Let me might have to
Well,
might have to go back
I
and
know
check on that
Wes
one.
picked them to win. Um,
Well, and that's the thing about
yeah,
my pick.
Army's definitely better than Navy. We don't need to get Army and Navy
Oh,
confused this year.
well, Army's actually picked. Actually, it's Wake Forest. It's picked to win by 3. So
Okay. So, well,
we'll
that's
see
not
how
a
that
lot
works out.
either.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But we'll see how it turns out. I mean, it's going to be at Army, so that's going to be pretty big.
Whew. Yeah.
But
Wake Forest definitely needs to show up for this one.
Yes.
6-0. When's the last time we've seen Wake Forest 7-0? Uh,
I mean,
if they're
Army's 4-2 right now, so Army still. I think the loss. Yeah, Army barely lost to Wisconsin, and then lost to Ball State. Those are the only two losses that they've had.
I still think Clemson, they're not the normal Clemson of the past years, but their defense is very good and their offense clearly has issues. I mean, clearly they cannot score to save their life.
Mm-hmm.
But that defense will keep them in games. So I think I think when they do play Wake Forest, it's going to be a close game, but I still think Wake Forest is going to be able to win.
Yeah.
I think Clemson, that eventually that's going to come back to bite them. They're not going to be able to, hold everybody to 14 points a game. I just don't see how that's going to continue to hold.
Right.
So I've got Wake Forest in that game. Wes
Yeah.
picked Army, and did you pick Wake Forest as well?
Yeah, I would. This goes back to the last segment we had. I do have two of my brother-in-laws are military, or well, all three of them are military, but two of them are Army. And you know what? I'm going to have to stay with Wake Forest on this. That Sam Hartman is an outstanding quarterback. I think he should be in the Heisman race. They're probably not going to look at him, but I hope they do. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Wake Forest on this one. This will be my first time picking against Army. So sorry guys, but I'm going Wake Forest.
Yeah, that Army Navy game this year is probably going to be ugly. I think Army's going to.
Oh, I
I
can't
think
wait for it.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those games I want to eventually go to at some point in my life. That'd be a fun one to go to. And then the next game we've got on our list is Wisconsin and Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue riding high off after a huge win over number 2 Iowa last week. I
Right.
think that momentum's going to continue. I think Purdue is a pretty good team. I think they're going to beat Wisconsin. Wisconsin really has not impressed me much this year. So, I mean, it's possible that Purdue could have a letdown, but I don't think they will. So I've got the Boilermakers. What about you?
So this game, like I said, Purdue's running that 3 QB thing going on, which is something new for college football. I mean, at least for me, it is because I have never seen you
That usually
run.
doesn't work for most
No, it
teams.
doesn't. Usually it fails, but it worked against Iowa, and it gave them all kinds of hell. But yeah, you're right. Iowa's coming off of a big upset win over Purdue's coming off a big upset win over Iowa, and they're coming in. I think it's going to be at Purdue, and Wisconsin just really hasn't found themselves. At the beginning it was about the quarterback, and I'm going to go with Purdue on this one. I think they're going to keep it going. So yeah, give me Purdue.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, and I would assume I think Wes picked them as well. Yeah, I don't see where he.
Yeah, I'll look at it. I believe he did pick.
I don't see that pick on here. But anyway, I'm sure he would pick Purdue. And we've got another game on our list: Oklahoma State, Iowa State. A game at the beginning of the year. If you would looked at that game, you probably wouldn't have expected Oklahoma State to be 6-0 and Iowa State to have 2 losses. But that's where we are. Iowa State's kind of disappointed this year, based on their standards of going into the year. Oklahoma State has overachieved already. I still think this game could be close. I really do. But I've seen more out of Oklahoma State that makes me think bet like that they should win this game opposed to Iowa State. I think Oklahoma State's going to score too many points, and Iowa State's not going to be able to keep up with them. But I could see it being like possibly a 14-point game, something like that, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
that close. But uh, anyway, what do you think there?
Well, the thing about this game is, first off, Iowa State is actually picked in this game. They're picked. I think the spread is Iowa State by 7. So
they're not. They're still not giving Oklahoma
no,
State their
they're not giving Oklahoma State
credit, huh?
no credit whatsoever. So we're gonna, and I can understand it. It's at Iowa State, so I can understand where the 7 comes from. But
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, I mean, they're going to be put to the test. That's for sure. From here on
Yeah,
out,
I
most
agree.
remaining games, they're going to be put to the test on whether or not they can handle this perfection going on. So with Iowa State, I think it's a good matchup for them. Iowa State does still have a pretty solid defense, so we're gonna test. They're going to test out that Oklahoma State offense, but I do not see Iowa State coming close to beating Oklahoma State. I'm going to take Oklahoma State in this one, and I believe Wes also picked Oklahoma State as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, Iowa State, since it's there, I think they can keep it close. But I like the way Oklahoma State's playing this year, and I think they can pull it out. I actually hope that they go undefeated, and so does Oklahoma. I want them to meet in Bedlam both undefeated. That would just be an awesome game.
Yeah.
I mean, the winner going to pretty much probably going to the college football playoff. I mean, you can't get better than that. And then the next game on our list is
Should be the
Oregon
LSU. Oh, which one is it? Oh,
is it Oregon, LSU, UCLA is
UCLA.
what I've
Yep.
got.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
So, that's a sneaky good game. I think this game could be very very entertaining. What do you think?
This game right here, to me, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I thought UCLA was actually going to produce something this year, and they're still looking good, 5-2 right now. Oregon being 5-1, but Oregon did lose one of their top defensive ends towards the beginning of the season. But out of these two teams, both of them got a good offense. It's just going to come down to the defense. But I'm going to actually take. Man, this is tough because UCLA is going to be at UCLA, and there's big bad bum right there. So he's going to give me. But I'm gonna
Do you
go
want to catch
Oregon
up
in
on
this
your
game.
picks, or do you want to start where we are?
Go Tigers.
He said, "Go Tigers."
Oh, is he got an
Do what?
LSU hat rolling?
He does have LSU.
Go
Look at him
Tigers.
go.
I do have LSU. This is a little weird for me.
At
I've
least
only
it's a
ever
Tiger.
worn Mississippi State or Memphis in my life. It is a Tiger, and it's a Go
At least
Tigers.
it's a Tiger.
It's a Go Tiger.
All right.
Hey, Bum.
Which
Bum,
games have I missed, fellas?
All right, so Bum, I got you right here. We got Penn State and Illinois. Who you got?
Penn State.
All right, Wake Forest and Army. Who you got?
Not picking against the Service Academy. Army gets the upset today.
All right, Wisconsin Purdue. Who you got?
Let's go with Purdue. They're coming off of a big win against Iowa. I don't think Wisconsin has had that good of a year this year. Give me the Boilermakers in this one.
All right, Oklahoma, Kansas. Who you got?
Right south. Oklahoma by
All right.
a billion.
Yeah.
All right, you got Oklahoma State and Iowa State. Who you got, buddy?
Let's go with Oklahoma State. I think they keep the ball rolling. I love the mullet down there in Stillwater. I think they got something special brewing.
All right, and Oregon and UCLA.
Let's go. Oh man, that's a tough matchup. I like Chip Kelly's team at UCLA. Give me Oregon. I think they're still rebounding off of what they had, their loss against Stanford. But yeah, give me Oregon in this one. I think they still end up winning the Pac-12. So there we go.
All right.
And I'm on until I lose service. So
Okay, well we got you, buddy.
You're just in time for the Ole Miss LSU pick.
Well,
That
down here in the great state of Louisiana, we going back to
Yeah.
Oxford, Mississippi. Play my old ball club. Lane Kiffin's an asshole.
you should definitely do that. Are you going to go to the Grove?
It's Eli Manning Day down here, and we come down here to screw it up. Give
You
me
should
the
do that
LSU
like you
Tigers.
should
Go
talk like that
Tigers.
all day at the Grove.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So talk like that
but
all
anyway.
day.
So Christian,
at
who
the
you got? Who
Grove
you got? So Christian, who you
bunch
got?
of
Ole Miss,
fans.
LSU. So Christian, who you got? Ole Miss or LSU?
That's a tough game. I think LSU's coming off a big win against Florida, surprising win. I think Ole Miss. I hate to say it, but I think they're a pretty good team this year.
It also depends all if Matt Corral's playing or not. I haven't heard anything. I heard he's a
if
game
Matt
time
Corral
decision.
doesn't play, then yeah, if Matt Corral doesn't play, that changes a lot of things. Because Matt Corral's, he must have lost service.
He did. I know probably about where he's at right now to lose service like that. But
Matt Corral, I believe, should be back in the Heisman conversation. He's a really good player. But if he's not able to play, like Brandon said, then that's going to change a lot. If he is able to play, I got Ole Miss. If he doesn't play, I actually think LSU might win. So it's just going to depend on that.
I think Coach O's trying to build up his resume for wherever he goes next. I mean, we all know he's going to be Nick Saban's defensive coordinator next year. So, it's going to be tough. But, it all depends on if Corral plays. I'm still picking LSU just because that's who I'm going down there for.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Matt over here is a big Tiger. But I think we're going.
Awesome.
I'm going to stick with that LSU pick.
Oh, you know what? Here's the thing about this game is Ole Miss is rocking the powder blue jerseys today, and they're doing it one to troll Ed Ogeron at LSU, and to and then
Sissy Blue.
Yeah, the Sissy Blues,
Sissy Blue
but you got LSU. You know, even a couple of players at LSU, they even said that they were shocked about the news about Ed Ogeron. And the fact that the man's going to stay and coach out the rest of the season, and said if they make a bowl, he'll coach the bowl game. So this one, you know what? I'm going with it. I'm going, and Joe Harbaugh, a good friend of mine who's a Ole Miss alum and actually a legendary basketball player from Ole Miss. I'm gonna have to go against him today. I'm gonna go with Ed Ogeron and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick.
Go Tigers!
I think LSU's got a lot to play for. I think they're going to be really trying to win for their coach.
They do, and you can tell that these kids at LSU really love Coach O. He might have made personal mistakes, but he loves those kids, and those kids love him. So I think it's time for them to get that saddle going, and they got to get it. They got to get it up. This will be the.
I think the Coach O's biggest mistake is he's kind of let his personal life invade his coaching.
Yeah, but
too much.
On the other hand, he's a divorced man. He did what he did, which I'm not going to say it was right or wrong. I don't really know. We weren't there to see it for ourselves, so I can't judge the guy based off of what is said allegedly. I do know I do know he is a football coach who cares about his players, and I will support him through that. But go Tigers!
Yeah. Next, we're actually scheduled for a break, but I think I'm good to keep going. If y'all
I'm good too, man. I'm just getting started.
All right. Clemson and Pitt.
Oh God.
The Clemson
that is
defense
an interesting game today.
Is probably gonna. What?
I'm talking to my buddy. I'm sorry. You asking who I got?
Yeah, who you got? Clemson or Pitt?
Yeah.
That is a tough game. Pitt's playing really, really good football this year. Clemson's starting to figure it out a little bit. Jeez. Where is this game? Is it at Pitt
I
or
just
at
don't
Clemson?
think Clemson
It's
can
at
score
Pitt.
enough points.
Give me the Pitt Panthers in this game. I don't want to pick against Dabo. He's one of the coaches that I like most in America. He like, if you see a football coach who cares about their kids that are on that field, and he loves them and shows them support just like a dad, that's the type of coach that I want coaching my program.
Yeah.
But Pitt is they're 5-1 this season.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Pitt Panthers in this one just because it's at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you got, Christian?
I think Pittsburgh's going to win too. Clemson's defense is going to make it interesting, but Clemson cannot score against anybody right now. I mean, they only scored like 17, I think, last week against Syracuse, and I don't think Syracuse's defense is that good.
Yeah.
Well, DJ Agamulula is not a great quarterback.
No.
So they need to go get a transfer from somewhere, or as my buddy Matt just said, Dabo Swinney to LSU would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
You got more. You got more. You got more to work with down there in Baton Rouge. So
yeah,
and they can pay a lot of money.
Yep. Well, that's the thing about Dabo is that he don't. I mean, if he stays at Clemson, I can tell you his next location, and that would be whenever Nick Saban decides to retire from Alabama. That the University of Alabama will get Dabo Swinney over there.
I'm sure that's who they're going.
Oh yeah, they already said they're gonna get Dabo if Nick Saban ever retires.
Listen, loyalty's not a thing
anymore. Keep that
success
going. Yeah, well, we got the money to fork it out for him though.
But LSU's sitting on bankrolls too, man.
Yeah, they are. But
look at Will Wade. Look at the recruits he's getting in basketball.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous right now in basketball right now for a lot of teams. But I'm gonna go with Pitt in this one.
Is having to. Okay.
I'm gonna pick Pitt over Clemson. Clemson just they might have a defense, but they have no offense whatsoever. They need a different quarterback. But Pitt's got it going right now. So yeah, give me Pitt.
Yeah, I mean Clemson's got a. They're having to like pull out trick plays just to score now, and that's not usually the recipe for success. And I think Pitt's going to be able to compete with Clemson on both sides of the ball. I think they're going to be able to score. I think it could be close. I could see maybe them winning by 7 or something, maybe 10. But I just think Pittsburgh's going to get the win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson is able to win as well. But I'm picking Pittsburgh in this game. So our next game is BYU and Washington State. So we've got a little bit of drama with Washington State. I think their coach got fired. Was it their head coach?
Yeah,
their entire coaching staff got walked out of the building because they're not vaccinated.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me. I mean, we can get into that if you guys want, because it's definitely big news in college football.
Well, we can talk more about that later.
Yeah, we're going to keep it just college football today, fellas. But I can tell you this much.
I don't want to get into a vaccination talk within sports.
But it is kind of weird. I mean, Anyway, it's weird.
It is. I mean, like, I understand the aspect that companies are putting mandates out that you have to be vaccinated, but I also understand that these people have their own lives. Let them choose what they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for an entire coaching staff to refuse to take it is also kind of surprising. But I mean, I agree. Everybody's got their own choice.
Well, the thing about it, guys, in this game, I will say this: BYU is picked by 4 over Washington State in this game.
Yeah, give me BYU in this game.
Give me also BYU.
Yeah, I got the Mormons in this one.
Storming Mormons, baby.
The Storming. Aren't they one of the teams going to the Big 12?
I think so. Yeah.
That's going
I
to
think
be
they're
so weird seeing them that's going to be so weird seeing BYU in the Big 12.
It's just going to be weird seeing BYU in a conference. It's going to be weird seeing them in a conference in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Mississippi State and Vandy.
Oh.
Mississippi State. I don't think we even have to talk about this.
Mississippi State might score 700 points in this game.
Hey, but first,
Vandy's biggest weakness is their pass defense.
yeah.
State's biggest strength is their pass offense.
Hey,
Will Rogers threw for what, 400 yards on Bama last week?
Yeah, he did.
How did they
sure
almost
did.
beat South Carolina?
He might throw for 8,000 yards in this game.
Look, Will Rogers, I will say this. I felt bad for him. He went down with a shoulder injury. Yeah. And he got hit hard. Christian Harris, I mean, we got some big linemen.
You got to give him credit, man. He took
did.
a shot and he stayed out there.
That's what I'm saying. He took a shot, and that man came right back out. He was on the sidelines warming up, and he came out. He finished the game, and that was impressive to me. Yep. So a lot of respect for Will Rogers over there at State. So I'm going to also pick State in this. So give me Mississippi State Bulldogs over Vandy.
Give it them Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think Vandy's best game of the year was last week, and they still lost. They should have beat. They really should have beat South Carolina last week. That would have been an emotional win for them, but they weren't able to get it. What's his Zeb Nolan? What was he, a coach?
He was a coaching assistant. And next thing you know, he ended up winning the quarterback position. I guess he was throwing balls over there.
I don't think he was playing that whole game, and he came in like the final drive and led them to a touchdown.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. You have problems if you can't recruit a quarterback to play at an SEC school.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Vanderbilt or South Carolina. Like, you should at least have some type of capable quarterback back there.
Yep.
But instead, South Carolina's got to play their assistant coach.
Yeah, I don't. Well, here's going to be a fun game to pick. I've got Mississippi State in that game. UT and Bama.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee and Bama.
Real fun to pick. Nathan, I'm going to let you go last. Tennessee is going to get absolutely killed. And they deserve nothing better after the way they acted last week. As much as I don't support Ole Miss, I still hate Tennessee more. Their fans are classless. They showed it last week. It's really frustrating to watch a college football game that was that good, and then the fans take it over and hijack it. You're throwing trash on the field, and their fans are out here trying to justify what they did. You can't justify that. If Memphis fans did it, I would be dragging Memphis fans. My biggest thing is they're like, well, all it was water bottles. What's a water bottle going to do to somebody? No, it was golf balls. It was mustard bottles.
Yeah,
it was water bottles. It was beer cans. There's a picture of a kid on the sidelines, and he got hit in the head, and he had blood all over his face. So you're telling me that 104,000 people that are throwing stuff onto a football field isn't dangerous? At least we didn't rush the field. That's more dangerous. Bullshit. Yeah, you weren't going to be able to rush the field anyways, because Ole Miss was always going to win that game.
Right now, going over that Tennessee thing, right now they've arrested over 18 people and is fined in Tennessee $250,000, and they're still arresting people. They're not even done, but right now it's over 18.
I mean,
I am kind of impressed.
That's cool and all, but like, that's cool and all, but they kicked them out of their seats in the student section and pushed them up to the concourse. And as soon as the game started back, they came back down. Also, the last thing I want to hear from the Tennessee fan is them bitch about how they were screwed by the refs. You still had an opportunity to win that football game, but your quarterback was too much of an idiot to throw the ball, and he runs out of bounds with no time on the clock. I mean,
he
dude,
ran
like,
out of bounds. Why
yes,
do
ran
that?
out of bounds. There's 10 seconds on that play. He's running around, and he's like okay, I can't.
I think we're losing Brandon a little
You
bit.
can't throw a Hail
get what
Mary up and
there he goes. I get what he's. I think I know what he's getting at, though.
air
I mean,
and
you
just
really
hope
don't.
that somebody catches it.
Yeah.
What, you're down
Yeah.
what? You're left time.
Yeah. So that
Now
game,
Now you're.
Well, what Bone was saying was you had 10 seconds on the clock. You had a chance to make a play, and instead of doing it, you run it out of bounds, which is ridiculous. No coach in any program will tell you, "Hey, 10 seconds on the clock. Don't throw a quick out route. Let's go ahead and run out of bounds."
You have no chance
So
when you run out of bounds. You're better
no,
off.
you don't.
You're better off like throwing the ball backwards or something.
Right.
You know.
So Christian, who you got? UT and Bama.
I think Alabama's going to destroy them. I do think UT's a little bit better this year under Heupel. I think they might be trending in the right direction, but you know, this year is going to be. They're not going to really impress this year, and we're halfway through the season now. So last week they had a chance to get a big win, and they weren't able to do it. And the fans were not happy, as we all saw. So
Yeah.
I think this week Alabama is gonna. I think Alabama's refocused, after the A&M loss, and I think they're gonna win every game on their schedule until they meet Georgia in the SEC championship. I don't know. I haven't picked that game yet, so
Right.
we'll
Well,
see. I'll be able to judge that game when we get there a little bit better. But I got Alabama winning and meeting Georgia in the championship.
all right. So in this game right here, and I'll keep this short and sweet. This has always been a big game. It's always known as the third Saturday in October. Technically, it's not. It's the fourth Saturday because of the month. But but it's always known as a big rival, and it used to be always decided by 3 points. Here lately, it's been a big widespread. But Alabama does have a chip on its shoulder right now because after the loss to Texas A&M, we cannot lose another game. Otherwise, we do not make the college football playoffs. So that's something big that the team is focusing on and they're thinking about. So they're going to play each game like they did, like it's their last, like they did against State. If we come out playing like we did against State and our defense shows up like they did, and I think it will because it's in Tuscaloosa and it's at night, which means light show at Tuscaloosa, which is awesome. Which is always a fun experience for anybody that is a Bama fan or not. Go to an Alabama game at night and the little light show they do. It's pretty fun. But this game right here, it's going to be fun. So everybody, get your cigars ready. I will be going with my Crimson Tide, and this is going to be a good game to watch. So give me Alabama in this one.
This is a pretty big rivalry, but lately it hasn't been very. The rivalry hasn't been very competitive. Alabama's dominated it. I think what is that? Have they won like 14 in a row against Tennessee?
It will be 14 if we beat them today. It's either 14 or 15. I can't remember.
It's not been much of a rivalry for sure, but Alabama's done that to a lot of teams.
Yes, they have
lately. So we got UTSA and Louisiana Tech next. UTSA hasn't lost, correct?
I believe UTSA is still unbeaten right now. I do not
7-0 and they're ranked.
Yep.
They're ranked 24th. So,
right.
And
you're go ahead.
Yeah, and they're picked by 6 on the road at Louisiana Tech. I think that's probably a fair number. UTSA hasn't been dominating in their wins by any means, but they're still 7-0 any way you look at it. I think they'll go to 8-0. I don't know about the rest of their schedule. if they have a good chance to go undefeated. Let's see who they got. Yeah, they actually do. They have a good chance to go undefeated. And they'll probably finish the season ranked, and they'll get a good bowl game. That's good
Mm-hmm.
for them, right?
Yeah, that's a win for them, especially since UTSA is actually probably going over to the American League Conference now. So that will be pretty big for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know Bum picked UTSA in this game, and I'm going to also back that up, and I'm picking UTSA as well.
And I think we go back to Wes's picks here. He picked UTSA. He picked Bama earlier. Mississippi State, he picked them. Washington State, he picked them, and he picked Clemson actually to beat Pitt. So that's where we stand there.
Our next game is going to be another. It's actually, to me, it's going to be a fun one because after last year, it's Ohio State against Indiana, and to me, that's going to be a good one because of what happened last year. Indiana almost pulled it off and beat Iowa State last year, or Ohio State last year. So, but my thing is Ohio State has too many weapons on that offense. Their wide receivers, dude, are ridiculous. So I'm going to take Iowa State, and I think Bum also picked. Yeah, Bum took Iowa State as well, and so did. Wes picked an upset. Wes is going with Indiana in this game. So Christian, who you got?
Really?
Yep,
Ohio
he's got
State.
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana's not going to beat Ohio State. But I respect the pick.
Yep.
Brandon picked UTSA to win earlier, and he picked Ohio State to beat Indiana.
Yep.
So that leads us to our next game, which is, let me check here. It is USC and Notre Dame, a rivalry game.
Yes, at Notre Dame too.
It's always fun It's always fun to watch this game for some reason. Yeah. I think about the Leinart touchdown against Notre Dame along.
Oh man,
I believe that. I can't remember what year that was in, but that's just
it
one
was
of
the
the
year
first.
of Reggie Bush because it was at the 1 yard line, and I think it was Matt Leinart actually did a little spin move
Yeah.
and scored the touchdown. So yeah, this is a big rivalry to a lot of people, but as big as it is, USC just hasn't been there. They haven't been as dominant as they used to be. Notre Dame is rolling right now, so I'm gonna actually take Notre Dame, but Brandon's gonna go with USC in this game. So
Okay,
and
that's interesting. Who did Wes have?
Wes has USC as well. So right now I'm the only Notre Dame guy.
Yeah,
so who you got, Christian?
I get why they're saying that because this is a rivalry. Notre Dame hasn't looked overly impressive this year, but they are still 5-1. And I think USC, I think they're a little better than their record shows. But they got to go on the road. I think Notre Dame's gonna get the win. They're picked by 7, which I think that's a good margin. I can see it being a 7-point game. 10-point game. Yeah, I got the Fighting Irish, but I expect it to be a close game, and I hope it's a good game. I really do.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Who's our next game?
Our next game is going to be South Carolina against Texas A&M at College Station.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too impressed with South Carolina after last week. They did get the win, but they had to come from behind and beat Vanderbilt at home. That's not a good look for them. But they were at least able to win that game. They're going to have a much tougher task this week. They got to go to A&M. A&M's kind of emerged a little bit with their backup quarterback. I think he's kind of found a rhythm. they had a pretty convincing win last week against Missouri, which Missouri's not very good. So, but I think they continue their winning ways, and I think they're going to beat South Carolina by at least 14. A&M's a team that could turn their season into a pretty good one if they're able to keep rolling.
Yeah, I agree about that, but I'm also going to say this: A&M, yeah, they've been doing really good so far. They keep things rolling after the win against Alabama. I'm going to actually go with A&M. Brandon picked A&M, and also West picked A&M. But my thing is this: you talk about the LSU job. Jimbo Fisher is also a good name to be thrown in there
Yeah.
for LSU. So,
And he used to I believe he used to coach at LSU.
I think so a while back. But the thing
Like a
about
defense, I think he was a defensive coach or an offensive coach or something.
yeah, he was under Nick Saban at LSU, I believe.
But here's the thing about that. I saw where Jimbo's buyout is ridiculous. But
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know how that if he leaves, I don't know how that works, I don't know if you still have to pay a guy I don't think you have to pay his buyout if he leaves. Which I
right.
don't think you would. I don't think he would leave anyway. I don't think he would leave A&M. Well, I mean, the money for one reason, but I think
Well,
A&M right now might be. I don't know. It's hard to say that. LSU's a
yeah.
good job, no matter how you look at it. But
Well, he just got that. I think A&M, and I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's like $9 million after that win against Alabama. So there's money there.
yeah,
I don't think he's going to leave. I've already said that Mel Tucker is who I believe the LSU is going to take. Michigan State's head coach. I think that's who they're going to go for. Because Michigan State's on a roll right now as well. So I think Mel Tucker is he is a Nick Saban assistant, but he's a great coach, and I think that's who LSU will be gunning for. I don't see Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss for LSU. I don't see
yeah.
that either.
I don't. Yeah, to me LSU is a better job, but I don't think it's that much better, right? I mean, we've seen Kiffin do this before. Like he'll leave. I think he left Tennessee in the middle of the night for USC, but at the time USC was considered like one of the better jobs in the country. I don't think you can say that anymore now.
Right.
I don't think US. Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
but in this game with A&M though, Jimbo, I think Jimbo's in his right spot at being at A&M. I don't see him leaving. So, but I will take A&M in this game against South Carolina. Christian, you made your pick,
Yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah, A&M.
Okay. Well, real quick, I want to do a shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to BA Mass for sponsorship. They do a great job on custom and premium sports face masks for football, lacrosse, and more. They are now in the NIL world with BA athletes. They are truly BA. So shout out to BA Mask.
Yep, and I think Justin Tuck uses their masks as well. So
Yeah,
they're
it's like,
definitely.
and for all our listeners, dude, go check them out. If you play football, check them out. They literally make their masks are at, like BA for sure, for real.
Yeah. For those that know what that stands for, we
Yeah, for
can't say
that
it.
we can't say it. We're told not to say it, so we're not going to say it.
Um,
Christian, go ahead with this next one. Who we got next?
the next game would be Arkansas and UAPB. This is, I believe, the first in-state matchup between Arkansas and another in-state opponent since I can't remember the date, but it's been a long time. I want to say it's. I'll get back to you on that, but anyway, this is going to be in the literal sense, it's an historic matchup, but I don't think it's going to be a good game or anything like that. I think Arkansas is going to roll. Arkansas hasn't been impressive, but it is UAPB, so I know UAPB is going to be motivated to win this game, but I just don't
Mhm.
think that's going to be enough to beat Arkansas. Um, it's going to be kind of an interesting game. I mean, like I said, Arkansas doesn't play in-state opponents. I mean, this is something very like out of the norm for
Right.
Arkansas. So,
Well, let me ask you this, Christian. You being Arkansas fan and everything. Now, this game. Where do y'all? Where's this game being played at?
it's going to be in Little Rock at War Memorial.
Okay, and you know the thing about Arkansas and y'all have got a really great team. Sam Pittman's doing a great job over there. But
They're trending in the right direction, but
right,
not like I would want them to. But I kind of got as an Arkansas fan, I've kind of got thrown back to reality a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Like it's gonna take a little more time, but I think Sam's gonna get them there.
Well,
It's just
the thing about Arkansas to me, and me being a Bama fan, I will say this about Arkansas. I know Christian, you were actually at the at the Arkansas Ole Miss game,
mm-hmm.
and I know the atmosphere was crazy there because I know
Yeah,
KJ Jefferson. He's actually he grew up in Sardis, Mississippi, which is probably about maybe 30 minutes or something like that from
really,
Oxford. So that's gonna, and I know his family was they all showed out for him. But
yeah.
Sam Pittman, and before I'll make my pick for this game. I will say this: because I was going to ask you and Wes about and Zach on y'all's thoughts about it. When Sam Pittman scored that touchdown to he could have kicked the field goal or went for two. What do you think, as a fan? Do you think about him going for the win instead of tying it up and taking it to overtime? Do y'all think y'all would have had a better chance in overtime with Ole
As a
Miss or?
as a fan, I was wanting to go to overtime because we had fought so hard to tie that on that last drive. We like methodically we got down the field and we did it perfectly. We scored with no time on the clock. I wanted to tie it because the fan in me, I'm not a risk taker. I'm just
Right.
in like in football. I'm like, all right, do you want the game to come down to one play, or do you want to be able to have like a full overtime to maybe get a stop, even though we hadn't been able to stop Ole Miss at all, but they hadn't been able to stop us either. So it would come down to who was the first team to get a stop, and you know I like our chances better in overtime because
Mhm.
when you get down to the 2 yard line, it's very tough to score.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those areas on the field. I mean, there's not a lot of room to pass the ball, and you can run the ball, but if the defense knows it's coming, it's hard to get. It's hard to get 2 yards. So
Well, then let
I
me
like
ask
the
you
call. I
this.
mean, he was confident in the call. He went for it.
Mhm.
I don't really like the play call, but I wanted maybe KJ to run the ball or do
Yeah.
something kind of like that. But it's over with. It's done.
Right. I mean, and y'all played, and I will say this. I know y'all coming off the loss against Auburn, but y'all are playing an Auburn team that you never know what shows up. That's the thing about
Yeah.
Auburn. Bo
You
Nix.
don't know what Bo Nix you're going to get either.
Right. Exactly. And that's what messes a lot of teams up because that's how Bo Nix plays. And as an Alabama fan, that's how we we never know which Bo Nix is going to show up. And
Right.
the thing is, y'all got the Bo Nix that freaking could throw up anything and it looks like a
Yeah.
Heisman candidate, whereas
Exactly.
other teams play him and he looks nut like trash.
And I
But
and I
go
will
ahead.
say this about KJ Jefferson. I think he's a great player and all that. The thing he's got to work on is moving around in the pocket. He just stands there sometimes. Like
Yeah.
he'll stand there in the pocket looking for receivers, and you can't do that. And you saw it cost us in the
Mm.
Auburn game. That fumble when we were up 21-17, I believe, or 17-14. He was just standing in the end zone and he fumbled, and Auburn recovered it for a touchdown. And right there, the momentum changed, and Auburn. I mean, the game was over at that point. It just felt like so. He's got to work on that. I think he'll light up UAPB today. I just don't see any way UAPB can beat Arkansas, but
Mhm.
I hope Arkansas is at least taking them serious. You know, they're not
Well, and that's the thing about this game right here with Arkansas Pine Bluff. Because KJ Jefferson, yeah, you're right. I know what you're talking about. Where he just stood there in the pocket, looked like he was frozen, practically.
yeah.
In this game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, as you know, as I'm just Bama fan, but KJ Jefferson, if playing in this game, this is the chance for Arkansas to bounce back after that loss against Auburn,
Yeah.
and fix everything. You know, fix any issues y'all had. KJ reminds me a lot of, kinda of Dak Prescott. The thing about Dak
Yeah.
is that Dak goes through his progressions before he decides to run. Same as Bryce Young, same as any quarterback. A coach will teach him: go through your progressions, make sure all your options aren't there before you. And even if your safety drop is taken away, run the ball. KJ Jefferson is a big guy. I mean, freaking huge, and he's hard to be taken down.
Yes.
So he reminds me a lot of Dak, especially his mobility and everything. He's hard to be taken down, which also Dak Prescott was too when he was at Mississippi State, and still is over at the Dallas Cowboys. But I believe I'm going to pick Arkansas in this one because I see Arkansas bouncing back after that loss against Auburn, and I think they're going to bounce back.
If Arkansas loses this game, we've got much bigger problems than I thought. You know.
Right. I mean, y'all still got a good amount of games left. Y'all got State, you got LSU, you got Bama, and you got Missouri. So for this game right here, it's basically what they call the cupcake game. It's a chance for you to bounce back and just fix everything, get your guys back on track. So I'm going to pick Arkansas on this. I think Bum actually picked differently though.
Yeah. And here's Bum, no surprise to everybody. Bum picked Pine Bluff, but he did say that whenever he picks Arkansas, they lose. So. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right. I mean, I think every time, except I think maybe the Georgia game, he was right. Yeah. So.
And
that's
then
Brandon's pick.
Right, and then Wes, of course, is picking Arkansas as well. So, but this weekend, fellas, it's going to be one of those. Not a lot of big games are on. As we were going through our picks and everything, and sorry for we weren't able to have the whole group here with us.
Yeah.
A lot of them were having technical issues, and a lot of them are heading to football games and all that. But
real quick, do you want to talk about the Memphis game last night? I know they started Parrish.
Oh, God, dude. I'd much rather have Bum talk about that because
I understand.
I will say this. It was tough to watch. I was texting Wes and Bum. It was a game that was very tough to watch. I know Parrish got in, but dude, it was UCF. UCF raw dog. Just beat the crap out of Memphis. It was awful.
I don't think UCF's really that good. I mean,
no,
I don't know.
See, I don't want to be saying some stuff and everything, but I will say this. Ron Silverfield, I don't know what through that whole game he was thinking, the calls that was being made. I know it has a lot to do with the offensive coordinator and everything too, but it was tough. I know Wes told me a few things last night about the game, but that's going to be something that we're going to address on the point about that game. I will say this: Memphis, it would have been a lot different if the quarterback didn't get hurt or wasn't out of that.
Yeah,
game.
I was going to ask, did he didn't get hurt, or is that why he didn't start?
They said that before game he had a upper I think it was an upper body injury that made him made him unavailable for the game. So, but it was tough to watch. So I think it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
And so I know, I think it was Wes said that Calvin Austin couldn't be at full strength. That he didn't even look like he was going full speed.
Well, hopefully they're kind of reeling it in for the season. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully they continue to fight.
Well, hopefully it doesn't cost Ryan Silverfield his job at Memphis.
Right.
But it's like I've talked it on the point. I've talked about it to Wes and Bum and Will. Memphis is a young team, so they've got a lot of growing still to do. But it's still a young team, so I think they'll bounce back.
That's
and
true.
I think it'll be a better season next year. This right here is they're just trying to figure things out. So,
well, I mean, it never helps when your starting quarterback at the beginning of the year goes down and you have to start a freshman QB.
right. Well,
that's tough for anybody to do. Maybe not Alabama though.
Well, Parrish is actually a sophomore. He's a transfer out of I think it was LSU, I believe.
Okay.
And Hennigan is actually the freshman that started, and for him to come in and step into the role as a freshman and take over, the big thing was you were taking over behind which was one of the Memphis Tigers' best quarterbacks in Brady White. So when you had to come in and fill in, it's some big shoes to fill. So,
but even in the losses, I mean, Hennigan looked pretty good even in the losses that he had.
I think Hennigan's going to be it's going to be a bright future for Hennigan at Memphis right now. So they're still a young team.
Yeah.
A lot of improvements got to be made, but Tigers are still a young team this year.
It's hard to judge a year when you lose your starting quarterback at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to put too much on a year like that. But I think that's going to do it for this Saturday Pick'em show.
Yep.
Brought to you by 4 Star Sports Media. And do you want to give our sponsor one more plug here?
Yes, I'll say it again. Thank you to our sponsor, BA Mask, for sponsorship. They do a great job for the custom and premium sports face masks for football, lacrosse, and more. They are now in the NIL world for BA athletes. So check out BA Mask, and they are truly BA.
All right, that's going to do it for this Saturday's show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Me and Nathan say peace out and see you next time.
Yep. See y'all next time. Roll Tide.